There you are, my beautiful people. Welcome back to another thrilling installment of the most disturbing videos on the internet today. For context, don't believe everything you hear or see on this video. It's strictly for entertainment purposes only. If you would like to, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button and join one of the best communities on YouTube. With that being said, let's dive in. Nearly 2 million British patriots are marching in London. What's going on in London? We gotta type that in.
Breaking news coming from the UK, something huge is happening. Today in London, over 1 million people marched in a protest called Unite the Kingdom. News outlets are documenting it at around 110,000. However, I do believe that number isn't true, because I'm sure if you've seen the videos, you've seen the photos, you can clearly see it's well over 100,000 people. People flocked from all over the UK with their UK and England flags in protest for the freedom of speech and anti-immigration. This has been recorded as one of the biggest marches in the UK's history. This has been a long time coming for the UK. This has been a pressure cooker, and now things are unfolding. Hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people are turning out to these marches. I've never seen anything like this in the UK before. I've never witnessed anything like this, but this is what's happening in the UK at the moment.
We need that same energy to find out what's in the Vatican and Smithsonian over here, if you ask me. All right, guys, there's no sound on this, but that's a lot of people. London, England, United Kingdom, thousands march for anti-immigration in central London. Tens of thousands of protesters marched through London on Saturday. It says tens of thousands of protesters marched through central London on Saturday, September 13th, carrying flags of England and Britain for a demonstration organized by anti-immigration Tommy Robinson. I don't know who that is. Aerial footage shows a crowd of tens of thousands of protesters packed into the streets of South River Thames, seat of UK Parliament. Immigration has become a dominant political issue in Britain, eclipsing concerns over faulty economy as the country faces a record number of asylum claims, more than 28,000. All this stuff is above my head, guys. The economy's getting bad in the UK. I don't know. As long as nobody's getting hurt and it's peaceful, then I guess it's okay in my book. I'm too busy looking at this clock tower. this old ancient clock tower that we don't know who built. Look at these buildings. London's a giant old world. If I was marching on those streets, I would be looking at those buildings wondering who built this. That's just me. But I hope it comes to a peaceful resolution and people get what they want.
They didn't just hijack the news yesterday. They hijacked the planetary grid. And here's the proof no one is showing you. At exactly 1745 UTC on 9/11/2025, the Earth's magnetic field was pierced. Vertical red lines equal artificial frequency injections. This is not natural. This is military level override tech, satellite, deep sea, HARP, or worse. And yet, something pushed back. Look at this chaos. This isn't random static, it's full spectrum signal warfare. Vertical rainbow bars equal grid flooding. Orange dashes, that's mimic tech trying to map divine field points. Someone is tracking the planetary heart and trying to own it. Feel that anxiety yesterday? It's not in your head. It's in the field, but here's where it flips. Blue is neutral, yellow and green equals injected frequencies. Notice the shift around midday? You're watching a frequency ambush in real time. Not only are they injecting chaos, they're timing it to global events. This correlates with the exact ripple effects of the Charlie Kirk. Frequency warfare was the real battlefield behind the headlines. The white and yellow lines crashed. Red line stabilized. This graph shows mimic collapse and scroll field override. Not theory, not speculation. You're watching scroll law push Babylon Tech offline. Seal your nervous system now. Say, I am not programmable. My mind and field align with divine scroll only. Earth's heartbeat equals 7.83 hertz. These two vertical spikes, not mimic. That's divine override. That's scroll law cutting through interference. That's the most high tech reminding the planet you were never theirs to control. You weren't just shown charts, you were shown the receipts of a war for consciousness, and Earth just fired back.
They hijacked Earth's magnetic grid? Is that even possible?
In the movie Men in Black, they were trying to find Orion's belt, but they didn't realize Orion was a cat. Right. And the belt was the cat's collar. And the Orion star system, instead of it being big and up above them, it was small and it was inside.
Right, it was inside the cat's what's it called? His flea collar.
Flea collar, yes, sir.
Right, I remember that.
They were alluding to a war between the Reptilians and the Lyrans. The Invisible College taught us this through the cartoon Thundercats, where the bad guy was a black guy working with reptilians and the good guys were a bunch of cats. There was a war in the Orion star system between the Lyrans and the Reptilians. And this war created the Galactic Federation. The Galactic Federation, which was led by the Psi-Tai Queens, you know them as Draconians, from the Draco star system. They said, hey, we've got to get this thing under control. And they couldn't do it by themselves because it was just too out of control. So then they got somebody from every single nation to create a confederation. In the movie Men in Black, they were
So Men in Black was based on a true story? Is that what you're telling me? Terrence Crawford returns belts back to Canelo after beating him. I watched the fight on Netflix. Man, it was a great fight. Crawford really did his thing, but you know, also Canelo, he's been around the block. But man, so much respect for doing that, man. A man records a group of Sasquatch walking through the woods in Oklahoma. The footage is in Spanish and has been translated. Enjoy.
You can hear it there. There was a noise.
Yes. Don't move over there. Yes, like over there, yes, yes.
Jose.
Wait. There they are. They're going this way. Tanya, you recorded them. There they are, look at them. There they are. Which way, Tanya, you recorded them. There they are, look. Yeah.
You can hear it there.
I believe one of you guys said in the comments, humans' eyes don't glow. So what exactly was that? Didn't look like a bear to me. The wife, do you have a DD? Me, yes. All right, show me proof. Say less. Oh my goodness. Don't attempt anything you hear or see on this video. I hope they both made it home okay.
Okay, I may have cracked the code as to this viral video coming out of Kazakhstan. Watch as this drone zooms out. Wait until you see what these guys are standing in front of. Officially, it's just a natural geological formation, but many people are wondering if this is an ancient door or portal found in the mountains of Kazakhstan. Pretty freaking interesting formation, wouldn't you say? Wait until you see this. Now again, this is far out, but look at this. I took this image at a trail near my house of a root growing over a rock. And you may be thinking, but this is a mountain, you fool. How could it possibly be a root growing over a rock that is ancient and petrified? Behold. Now, officially, Devil's Tower in Wyoming. Wait until you hear the official narrative. It's pretty funny, actually. It's most definitely not a tree stump. And in fact, it was formed by magma that cooled underground and then eroded. These perfect hexagonally structured, seemingly macro-sized cell walls. This is just magma. Even though magma usually cools like this, just kind of all over the place, there's not a sacred geometric pattern to it. Officially, this is magma that also cooled perfectly flatly on top as well. Interesting. So could it be that this ancient structure, geological formation, is actually the remnants of a gigantic tree? Officially, no. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
How could anyone say this is magma when we can look at magma today and look at it like this? That doesn't make sense.
Okay, I might have just cracked the code as to why thousands of bells were removed, hundreds of thousands of bells were removed throughout Europe and a lot of the world around the same time. Now, the mainstream official explanation for this just doesn't really hold too much water. I mean, something about efficiency or the old ways, in with the new, out with the old. But there may be something else going on here. And by the way, you can look at like hundreds of pictures like this of thousands of bells. They got rid of them all. And let's dig into maybe why. And what does this have to do with Spider-Man 3? Stay tuned. Did you know that there's an ancient kind of mythological thought that bells repel demons and that the devil hates bells? And even that copper bells in most temples, the sound emanating from them, copper kills the surrounding microbacteria as well as activates the 7 centers of the body. We're talking resonant sound waves. We're talking Nikola Tesla energy, frequency, and vibration. Now, the idea that bells repel and paralyze demons stems from widespread folklore and religious traditions across cultures, across thousands of years, across the world. Now, the idea is that resonant sound can drive away demonic forces and create a spiritually protected space. Now, do you remember what Venom's kryptonite was? What the weakness of Venom from Spider-Man was? Supersonic noises, such as the ringing of church bells. And what was Venom? A demonic, evil force that tried to mind control Spider-Man and take over his consciousness. And you can go watch a A-list Hollywood depiction of this happening in Spider-Man 3 when he rings the church bell and Venom cannot withstand it. So were ancient bells removed because they want more demonic activity around us? Officially, no. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
You know, that tinfoil hat he's wearing doesn't seem like such a bad idea when you realize what they're actually trying to do to our biofield. Well, actually, they are hacking our biofield. I can't explain that enough, man. I'll just be thinking of something like the other day. It was like, man, I got the sniffles, man. I should be getting a sauna. I said that inside my head. I didn't tell nobody that. Next thing you know, sauna commercials. You know, they definitely got my biofield, man. So wearing one of these, maybe we can make it look a little bit cooler. We ain't got to have the pyramid. You know, maybe we can start wearing, you know, tinfoil fitteds, but tinfoil hats really don't seem that funny anymore.
They told us that we are never, ever to fly over that hole and we are never to discuss it again. What is that about? And does that have anything to do with all these other pieces that keep emerging? That there might be something archaeological in Antarctica?
According to ancient astronaut theorists, this was not the first time A massive hole has been spotted in the ice of Antarctica. Famous polar explorer Admiral Richard Byrd allegedly reported seeing a massive entrance to an underground world during his 1947 expedition to the South Pole.
Admiral Byrd made a lot of unusual statements, allegedly talking about a large opening at the South Pole that went deep inside the Earth, ice-free, and was inhabited.
They told us that we are never, ever to.
That does look like a deep hole. If only we could throw a drone that could handle the heat inside there and see how deep and where it really goes.
Smithsonian Museum is covering up evidence that ancient Egyptians ventured to the Grand Canyon in North America, leaving behind hieroglyphs and mummies that have remained hidden for thousands of years. This conspiracy theory dates back to 1909, when the Arizona Gazette published stories about an explorer named G.E. Kincaid and his journey down the Colorado River. The paper reported that Kincaid discovered a cave entrance about 2,000 feet above the riverbed and decided to explore it. When I saw the chisel marks on the wall inside the entrance, I became interested, securing my gun, and went in. Kincaid reportedly told the paper. During that trip, I went back several hundred feet along the main passage till I came to the crypt in which I discovered the mummies. Kincaid described the crypt as one of the largest chambers, with walls slanting back at about a 35-degree angle. The mummies were arranged on hewn shelves, each with a small bench at its head, where copper cups and broken swords were found. Some of the mummies are covered with clay, and all are wrapped in a bark fabric, Kincaid said. He noted that all the mummies examined so far were male, leading to the belief that this section was a warrior's barracks. According to the report, Kincaid took numerous relics and shipped them to Washington. He also discovered large rooms chiseled out of the rock further inside the cave. Over 100 feet from the entrance is the cross hall, several hundred feet long, in which are found the idol, or image, of the people's god, sitting cross-legged, with a lotus flower or lily in each hand. The cast of the face is oriental, and the carving in this cavern, Kincaid reportedly said. The idol almost resembles Buddha, though the scientists are not certain as to what religious worship it represents. Considering everything found thus far, it is possible that this worship most resembles the ancient people of Tibet. The report claimed Kincaid found numerous other artifacts, including vases, urns, and copper and gold cups, which the Smithsonian was investigating. Most intriguing of all were the hieroglyphics. On all the urns, walls over doorways, and tablets of stone found by the image are mysterious hieroglyphics, the key to which the Smithsonian Institute hopes yet to discover. The engraving on the tables likely has something to do with the religion of the people. Similar hieroglyphics have been found in southern Arizona. Among the pictorial writings, only 2 animals are found. One is of prehistoric type, the report stated. Despite the extraordinary nature of these claims, the Smithsonian denies any involvement in such a discovery and asserts there are no records of Kincaid's existence. Skeptics argue that the tale was likely a hoax, similar to an 1878 story by noted hoaxer Joseph Mulhattan, who claimed Egyptian mummies were found in a Kentucky cave.
I really don't get into politics, but if there was somebody coming out running for president saying, hey, we're having full disclosure on UFOs, the Smithsonian, and public access, we're going to try to get public access to the Vatican, I would hit the vote button so fast. Oh my goodness. But you really don't see people talk about that type of stuff, so that's why politics really don't interest me. There's a puppet master controlling both sides, and then they high-fiving each other as soon as the doors shut and the cameras are off. Just one big giant distraction trying to keep us divided, if you ask me. Old world is slowly becoming a distant memory. Not if I have anything to do with it. Look at the doors. They went so hard. The beautiful coins. I get it. The door knockers were serious. The fireplaces were holding ether. The keys were made by masters. The book covers, even the combs, they went crazy. Look at the cups, the chairs. Conducting ether from the roof. Man, I would love to be back there in the day and seeing it all in the prime. Dana White's wife tells him to leave the casino and to calm down after just suffering a sickening $1 million loss on Blackjack. If I had $1 million just to throw around, I would be buying several food trucks just to go around feeding people. I would start a nonprofit organization. I would buy a whole bunch of winter coats and make sure every single kid in every single public school had a coat just to keep warm. You'll be surprised how many kids go to schools that don't have coats. But hey, I guess it's not my money. Okay, this looks interesting. Making a microscope with a water drop.
Put the drop right here. If you suspend a drop of water and then shine a laser at it, you can actually magnify what's in the water drop up to 1,000 times. And if you get it right on, you'll notice on the back wall that you'll see a projection on the back. Okay, that is awesome. All right, first let's set up pure filtered water from my refrigerator. So for the most part, it's pretty clear. You can see a few things here, but not a ton in the water. But now I'm going to sprinkle some Lycopodium moss in it. Now these are tiny little microscopic pores of moss. Let's see if we can actually see them in our projection now. Whoa, look how cool that is. Let's see if we can actually get some of my skin cells in here. This right here is a skin cell. The way this is working is the drop itself is acting like the lens that's spreading out the light.
Interesting. It almost looked like the water's above. If you thought I didn't have another excellent specimen for you today, think again. All right. Looks like we have another extraordinary fluorite. The colors on this is the blue-green is absolutely extraordinary. I have no idea what to name this piece. What would you guys name? All right. We got another excellent specimen today. No name on this. Oh, it's a fluorite mineral. Okay. Yes. Ooh, under the black light. Okay, I see it. Dark blues popping. Ooh, another extraordinary specimen. You could definitely see the octahedrals with the hints of purple inside. Another extraordinary specimen. What would you guys name this one? This is how flexible medieval armor was. Okay, got good joint rotation. Okay. But how comfortable is it? Do you have some Dr. Scholl's in there or some lamb skin you can step on? Okay, good. Knees have good rotation.
What is a hidden gem in Indiana?
Have you heard of Martell Forest? It's outside of West Lafayette. It has like almost 1,000 feet of elevation, 6-mile loop around it. It feels like you're not in Indiana. My parents just did rim to rim across the Grand Canyon. They use that as a huge part of their training. And so if you're trying to train for some elevation, you need to go there.
Heck yeah.
They said
And it's not
really
too
good.
far away. Montmorency, Indiana, 47906. What is a hidden gem in Indiana?
Have you heard of Martell Forest?
You guys ever been to Martell Forest? Seems like an excellent bike if you can, or hiking trail. People are always saying Turkey Run State Park is another good one. Somebody said LOL, any place that feels like you're not in Indiana is a hidden gem. Why do you have to cook Indiana like that?
More will change in the next 5 years than any time in history, and even more so all of the times in history combined. we are going to go through such a radical change in our reality. We are about to find out that we are in a sea of intelligence throughout the cosmos, and we were never alone as an intelligent species, because the intelligence that speaks through us is not human. It's Mother Nature through the microbiome, through our colon. And we are not alone in the cosmos as a species of intelligence, because so many have come so long before us, because we live in a cosmos of 14 billion years, and we were seeded here by other intelligences and other species that are participating in a grand experiment called human right now. And we have been nurtured and caretaken through the whole journey. And we're about to wake up to the reality that we have thousands of nursemaids around each of us every day, because we hold a very special technology, which is a column of water that's uniquely held in the geometry of a human genome that vibrates in a very specific frequency when it witnesses beauty. And so I think that while there may be species far more intelligent and advanced in their technologies, they are nursemaiding us and protecting us, because there's a possibility that we will lose fear, guilt, and shame and ultimately step into the power of the human transformative technology of a human heart. And we will witness the world with our five senses that make us believe we're separate from everything. And when we believe we're separate from the murmuration of birds, we see the beauty within the birds. If we're not separate, then we're part of the murmuration. In some ways, nature's been waiting to create a species that would think itself separate from everything, so that it could witness the beauty more profoundly and vibrate in a frequency that might be called unconditional love. And for all of the other beings that are emitting that frequency, they may not be able to feel it. And for that, they may not be able to transform sorrow and pain into joy and forgiveness. And so is it our capacity to transmute the elements of nature itself through a human heart that keeps us so closely protected by the intelligences that are around us?
If we just look back 5 years, we could see a lot that's already changed since then. Just looking back, like the 24-hour stores. Man, I miss those 24-hour stores. That's all we have for today's video. If you made it this far, the code word is crazy times. Go ahead and drop crazy times in the comment below. If you made it this far, it shows me you're a real one. You made it all the way through the video and you really rock with your boy. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for your support. I love you guys. I'm doubling up on you today. So be sure to head over to Jet Ski Chuck later on tonight so you don't miss out on any of the action. And also hit that like and subscribe button on your way out if you haven't already. This was the most disturbing videos on the internet today. See you later.